Imagine a world different from our own, where humans are no longer the top predator, where humans are forced to live in small cages. If you are lucky enough, you can go to live in a larger cage, but only the cutest humans get to do this. If you do anything wrong, or even just get lost, you can be forced back into that small cage. It sounds atrocious to us now, but it is the life of many animals in our country. My name is Gracie Bryant, and I have done extensive research on whether it is better to adopt or to shop for your pets, and I have been through both processes myself. There are two main places where people get their pets: from breeders who can give purebred breeds, or from animal shelters who give lost animals a second chance. A third place the animals come from are puppy mills. Puppy mills are illegal breeding rings which overbreed and keep animals in very poor conditions. Most animals are kept multiple in a cage, and females are often killed if they cannot breed any longer. On why everyone should adopt, don't shop, Sophie Hirsch describes many reasons. It is cheaper to adopt instead of shopping for an animal, because buying a dog from a breeder can range from anywhere from $400 to $8,000 for the specific breeds of dogs. Adopting an animal can go anywhere from $25 to at the most $200. Animals are also already trained when they come from an adoption shelter. It fights puppy mills because breeders are sometimes disguised puppy mills. The animal health is better because the animals aren't kept in such close proximity, and when animals are purebred, they are more prone to genetic diseases. And it saves two animal lives because it saves the life of the animal that you are taking home, as well as making room for another animal in the animal shelter. How the U.S. compares to other countries in terms of caring for homeless animals. 70 million stray animals are in the U.S., and half of those animals in the shelters are adopted, meaning only half of the animals are adopted and half of them are euthanized. Costa Rica was able to create a no-kill nation where no animals are euthanized in their country. If Costa Rica can do it, America could do it as well. Germany also has the largest animal sanctuary that provides care for many animals, and they have less euthanasias than America. Ohio's new puppy mills law, one of the strongest in the nation, from the Humane Society. Ohio passed a new law that created basic decency for the animals. Most of the things in the laws were just stating that the animals couldn't be kept more than one in a cage, and put regulations on how small the cages could be. So most of the things in this law were just basic decency, so it's kind of sad to see that it was one of the strongest in the nation, even though it wasn't all that strong from the rest of us. It included lots of improvements for the animals, and it also avoided many outbreaks in pet stores. There was an outbreak of pet disease that happened because of puppy mills, because the animals are kept so close together, and then when the animals from the puppy mills went to the pet stores, it actually outbroke into the humans, and there were 118 cases of this disease. The improvements for the animals: when you adopt, it has better living conditions, they have more forever homes, and the law means that they cannot be forced to breed over a maximum amount, and it also included that the animals had to have one veterinary checkup a year. For the families, when you adopt, the pets are cheaper, they're healthier, it saves two lives from possible euthanasia, it fights against these terrible puppy mills, and it's true that not all families can adopt. Most would say that the animals were given up for some reason, and while that is true, not all of those reasons are worth not adopting. Lots of times people have to move, and that's why they give up their pets, or maybe that person just died, or maybe they get a new partner and they're allergic to the pet. There's so many different reasons that people give up their pet, and if you never go to the shelter to find out, you'll never know. One thing that hurts is these stronger laws against puppy mills can hurt the breeders, but they can still usually keep their bottom line. The government struggles to make laws because they have to thread a line between hurting the puppy mills and hurting the lawful breeders. Animal cruelty just became a federal offense in the last few years, but most laws are at the state level, so it's really hard to enforce against puppy mills. Warrants are really hard to execute because without any just cause, they can't go onto anyone's property, so it's really hard to find evidence to convict puppy mills without being able to go on the property. And many puppy mills disguise themselves as breeders, so that's why most people don't know that they're buying from puppy mills, because they're disguised as decent breeders. And that's one of the hardest things about fighting puppy mills. So it's always better to adopt, because when adopting, you always know where the pet is coming from. It's never coming from a puppy mill because it's coming from a federally funded adoption shelter. Adopting is better for many reasons. It's cheaper, the animals are healthier, and it's really giving a second chance. The animals from an adoption shelter will give you just the same love as an animal from a breeder would. It is always important to research yourself, and not all families can adopt. Sometimes it is better to shop for a pet, but it's almost always better to adopt because you can usually find the specific breed that you want from a breeder at an adoption shelter, but most people won't even look at an adoption shelter before they go to a breeder. 3 million animals are adopted each year, but there are also 1.5 million animals that are euthanized every year just in America. So it is really important to consider adopting when you get your next pet. Thank you for your time.